There is a reason some of the most faithful Christians you know are still drowning in debt, still one paycheck from disaster, still praying the same prayer about money they prayed 5 years ago. And it is not because God forgot them. Something is blocking the flow, and most believers will never find it because they are searching in the wrong place. They blame the economy, they blame their job, they blame bad timing, but scripture points somewhere else entirely, somewhere most churches never mention on a Sunday morning. And it all comes down to 3 reasons. Hidden in plain sight, buried inside verses you have read 100 times but never truly understood. Once you see them, you cannot unsee them. Reason number 1, you have made peace with the spirit of lack, not poverty. A spirit of lack. There is a difference, and that difference is everything. Deuteronomy 8 tells the Israelites something strange right before they enter a land God promised them. He warns them not to say in their heart, "My power and the strength of my hand have gotten me this wealth." Notice what he is doing. He is warning them before the blessing even arrives, because he already knows what is coming after it. Comfort with lack. A mindset that expects just enough and never more. You have heard it in your own mouth. We are just getting by. God will provide, barely. I am not trying to be rich. That last one sounds humble. It is not humble. It is agreement. You cannot receive what you have already declared is not for you. And here is where it gets uncomfortable. Some of you were raised in it. A grandmother who said money is the root of all evil, leaving out the word love that was supposed to be attached to it. A father who called wealthy people greedy, so you made an unconscious vow to never become one. You inherited a ceiling you did not build, and you have been living under it your entire life without knowing it was even there. Proverbs 23:7 says, "As a man thinks in his heart, so is he. Not so is his bank account. Eventually, so is he." Right now, your finances are not behind your mindset. They are a mirror of it. But that is only the first door. The second one is quieter and far more dangerous. Reason number 2, you are sowing into the wrong soil. Galatians 6:7 says, "God is not mocked. Whatever a man sows, that he will also reap." Everyone quotes that verse about sin. Almost nobody applies it to their calendar, their attention, their time, because here is what nobody tells you. You are sowing every single day, whether you realize it or not. The question was never if you are sowing, it is where. Every hour spent chasing distraction instead of developing the gift God placed in you, that is a seed. Every skill you refuse to sharpen because it feels uncomfortable, that is a seed too, just planted in the wrong field. You are harvesting exactly what you have been quietly planting for years and calling the harvest bad luck. Matthew 25 tells the story of 3 servants given talents. 2 multiplied what they were given. 1 buried his out of fear, and Jesus called him wicked and lazy in the same sentence, not evil. Lazy. Fear disguised as caution cost that man everything he had. Ask yourself something you probably have not asked in a long time. What has God placed in your hands that you have buried out of fear it would not work? Or fear of what people would say if it did? That gift is still buried right now, while you are here watching this. And every day it stays buried is another day the field stays empty. But there is a third reason, and this one is the one most Christians will refuse to hear. Reason number 3. You have confused stillness with faith when God actually called you to build. Genesis 2:15 says God put man in the garden to work it and take care of it. Before sin ever entered the story, before anything went wrong, God's original design for man included labor. Work was not the punishment, work was the assignment. Somewhere along the way, a version of faith crept into the church that mistakes waiting for obedience. Sitting still and calling it trust, doing nothing and calling it surrender. But 2 Thessalonians 3:10 does not soften this at all. If anyone is not willing to work, let him not eat. Paul wrote that to believers, not unbelievers, to people who were so convinced Jesus was returning any moment that they stopped building anything at all. You can pray for a harvest over a field you never planted. You can fast for a breakthrough while the door God already opened sits right in front of you, untouched. Faith was never meant to replace action. Faith was meant to fuel it. So which one is it for you? Are you praying for something God already told you to go build with your own hands? Here is what ties all 3 of these together, and it is going to sting a little. None of these are about God withholding. Every single one is about a door you did not know you were holding shut. A spirit of lack you inherited and never questioned. Seeds you planted in fear instead of faith. A calling you buried under the disguise of patience. This is not condemnation. This is the moment before the breakthrough, the part nobody shows you on Sunday because it requires you to stop blaming everyone else and finally look inward. The prodigal son was not blessed sitting in the pig pen wishing things were different. He was blessed the moment he got up and walked home. Getting up was the miracle. Everything after that was just God meeting him halfway. So before you close this out, be honest with yourself. Which one of these 3 is you? The mindset, the soil, or the stillness. Say it out loud if you have to. Type it in the comments if you are brave enough, because someone else watching right now needs to see they are not the only one. Pray this with me right now. Lord, show me what I have buried. Lord, uproot every seed of lack in my heart. Lord, give me the courage to build what you already told me to build. If this reached something in you, do not scroll past it in silence. Share it with someone who needs to hear it today, because your breakthrough might be sitting in someone else's obedience to send this